All right, we got another episode, another shoot episode with Hiban from California, right?
Yes, Southern California, to be
Southern
exact.
Cali,
Southern Cali.
West Side.
Yes, the
Perfect.
West
I can't
Coast,
do the.
West Coast, best coast. Well,
Oh
as
Well,
yeah,
we like
yeah.
to say.
I don't know. Midwest is not that great, so he might be right
No,
on
yeah,
that.
so I
I mean,
totally agree
there's
with
a great.
Ivan.
You guys got the Great Lakes, right? So at least there's a coast there. So
I
maybe
mean, they're
northern
not that
coast.
great.
For real?
They're not
There's
that
Great
great.
Lakes here. I was like, there are Great Lakes here. Damn man, I didn't even know we had Great Lakes.
Oh man. Okay. Well, with that, let's roll the intro.
Welcome to the new episode of Shutter Slam with your co-host Sleepwalker with no bowels because we don't like fucking bowels, and Martin the Unicorn, with our special guest Hiban from the West Coast.
From the West Coast. Cheer, cheer.
What's up, guys? What's up? Thanks for having me here.
Dude,
Been
super stoked. Finally glad you're here.
Thank you for
right.
coming. I mean, coming for showing up.
Yeah,
Man.
no double meanings there, right?
Oh,
Strike one already.
Strike
dude,
one
I told
already, dude.
myself that I wasn't gonna say nothing. Dude, this is the reason why it's like we need our assistant to be like a production person to tell me, hey, stop saying shit like that.
You can't say that. You're gonna get canceled.
Shit, dude, I'm not trying to get canceled.
Well, okay. Well, back to Iban. Yes.
Iban.
So, photographer, graphic designer from SoCal, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Sweet, sweet.
Well, I mean, I've kind of expanded a little bit, but mainly just stay in SoCal and Tijuana nowadays. So that's when I do my stuff out in Mexico. So yeah, it's kind of like the region I cover nowadays.
Isn't it Denver too? Colorado?
You know what? Nah, I only did one show in Denver over with Vagos, which a great promotion. Like they're great folks over there. I did their anniversary show last year, I think in July of last year. Yeah, it was good. I haven't gone out there much. That was the only time I've gone out there, but it was a pretty solid show. Pretty solid show. They're great folks there. So, um, it's first
Nice.
time in Colorado too.
So,
No.
you do both graphic designer and photography. Which would you say you do more of, or which, like, what's like your forte? I guess a little bit of both.
I want to say it's I've gone through phases with it. I want to say with both. I
Mhm.
kind of started off more as a photographer doing ringside stuff, like back in like 2017, 18.
Okay.
Like, getting introduced into the business. But then as the years kind of progressed, since I've always been able to do graphic design since high school, it just kind of became like its own like entity for me. So now like, I've it's kind of developed into this whole like, all right, this is like your thing now. So lately I've kind of like cut back a little bit. I've dialed back a little bit on the photography the last I would say year or two. I
Okay.
don't do a lot of shows as much no more, but design I feel like now is like, all right, that's my thing. At least in pro wrestling. So that's been like my main forte.
I actually saw I think one of your recent, maybe kind of recent posters, but I know I've seen you did a poster for Lily and Vic. It's kind of like their booking poster.
Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah,
like, wait,
it's
Lily. Oh, Pescadita.
yeah,
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 right.
yeah.
I was like, Lily. I was like,
Yeah, I
who's
know.
Lily?
I know.
My
Like,
bad, my
I
bad,
know
guys, my
Lily.
bad.
Nah, you're good, dude. She's
Got me
awesome. Yeah,
confused as hell.
yeah. No, I recently did that. Man, there's a few I did recently for them. I know there's one last year that I kind of like that set everything off. Um,
Hmm.
so I did like their booking graphic for. I think they were trying to just kind of have like a sort of like the resume listed, stuff
Yeah.
they're,
Okay.
training and things like that. Just a rundown of like their skills and appearances and things like that.
I
So
I
it was
remember
something creative.
I remember seeing that, and I think what I liked the most about it was, like, it was so vibrant and, like, eye-catching, like, the colors were so bright and, like, it
Right.
was just, very solid and very clean, so, yeah, I think their booking poster has, like, stood out to me the most.
Right. Yeah, it's just kind of uh you know, because when most people think like, oh, okay, I just need like a booking graphic, right? And so, in pro wrestling, that could it could equal into a lot of different things. So it could just be like, your name and your email, or worker name
Mhm.
and the email. Um, but Lily, she had like a whole vision behind it, and she wanted specific things that she wanted listed in there, and just kind of like a overall theme that she kind of wanted to go with. So I went based off of that, and then just kind of gave it my own spin and
Yeah,
try to make it as eye-catching as I could, and while maintaining readability with the information as well. So
yeah.
um that was like one of my favorite projects to do for sure. I mean, I've done a lot of those, but that was one of my favorites.
It was definitely eye-catching for sure, like, that thing when I remember when I saw it, I was like, "Dude, this is like" it popped so much because it was so colorful.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's and that's the thing. Like I try to keep it eye-catching, but when it's something that requires you know the uh, the observer to read information, I was like, all right, I got to maintain readability. I can't,
Yeah,
let text, get, mixed in with the background and kind of look faded out. I got to make this,
yeah,
with good contrast and things like that. So a lot of different elements come into play with each project.
yeah. I mean, that totally makes sense. And I think,
Right.
also before we started rolling, me and Martin were actually talking, and I was like, "Have you and Martin have met before, right?"
Yes, and in the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. Well, actually, let me take that back. It wasn't in Chicago, Illinois. It was in Highland Park, in at the NWA. What was it? The 312 show? Martin, I can't remember.
Yeah, no, it was the TV
Or
tapings.
oh, it was one of the TV. Oh, okay, that's right. It was one of the
Yeah, it
TV
was two
tapings. I think the
shows.
pay-per-view was
Fucking four.
before.
Yes, it was in April, and this one was in July. It was hot as hell,
Oh, dude,
dude.
dude, and that was my first. Well, it wasn't my first time in Chicago, but I remember being there, and I was like, man, so that Chicago heat is no joke.
Yeah,
Like, dude,
it
it's
is
brutal.
serious. And
Dude, it's yeah, because I remember that show clearly, man. That that show was a taping, and I think it was like at 1 until like 4, and then we had to start again at 5
oh
until
my
like 9 at
Right.
gosh.
night. It was like
Yeah, I
4-hour
want to say.
tapings and shit.
Yeah, I want to say it was like a taping that was like split. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was like the first block was like 1 to 3 or 4 or whatever it was, and then the second
Mhm.
block was like 6 to 9 or something like that. I can't remember.
Damn, what a long
I'm not
day.
gonna lie, dude. A lot of these like tapings, like what happened in order and what exactly went down, sometimes are a little fuzzy in my memory, just because it's when you're working like in the from a production standpoint, you're just trying to make sure everything's going right on your end, and
Yeah,
you know uh
go,
making
go,
sure
go.
everything goes smooth. Right, exactly. Go, go, go. Stay out of the hard cam's way. Stay out of the main video
Yeah,
guy's way. Stay out of Martin's way, and then try to make
dude,
it get your shots in somehow.
dude, I had to be in my knees for 4 fucking hours because I couldn't move because the fans would get
Hey,
mad.
dude.
The camera guy
Right,
was
right,
right over me, so I had to like literally on my knees, fucking film me, like not trying to be seen, but I was still
right.
seen.
I
Oh
mean,
my
like
gosh, that's
it's
brutal.
to to be fair, the show was, it was a cool venue and everything. It is like, the way it was set up. I think the chairs were pretty, like the audience chairs were pretty close to the ring.
Yeah,
So, that doesn't give a lot of room for, production guys and, camera guys to move around as much, or as, uh, with more wiggle room. So it's like, man, you kind of have to it's one of those shows where it's like, all right, you got to pick your corner and kind of stay there the whole night.
Yeah.
You got to go through one of those.
Was it at the is it the same venue that they do it at now?
Yes, at the same venue. They do
Okay.
NWA
Yeah,
Chicago.
yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
I was just there on Friday.
yeah, they do NWA Chicago there, I believe. That's kind of been like their home base, I believe, for their shows. At least from what I know now. But I know like, the Chicago stuff when I was there, it was that's where it was. So it was fun because it was like, all right, I finally met Wrestling with Unicorns, Martina, your brother too. I think your brother was there
Yeah,
too.
yeah, he was there. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
it
there.
Dude,
was
Damn,
it
dude,
was
I remember that day.
yeah,
what's
it was
crazy is
That day.
how long did you know Martin for? Like before you met him in person?
before I met him in person. I want to say it might have been at least a few years. It's kind of fuzzy because, when you're like keeping in touch with people over social media, you kind of, the years start to blend and you kind of don't remember when you first interacted.
Yeah.
So, with Martin though, like I've seen his stuff everywhere. So it was like, uh, you kind of, you're like, all right, now I'm meeting the guy with behind the lens. So it's like, it's pretty cool at that point. You're like, all right, like social media friends, but now it's like, all right, compadres in person.
And now it's real life.
Hell
It
yeah.
actually happened.
Right.
Dude, funny
Exactly.
thing is, that like between you and Josh, Garcia, Rule of Photography, you're the only one
Right.
that I
That's
met
my
in
boy.
person. Dude, and I'm always in San Diego, and I never ever get to meet Joshua.
Dude,
Never.
dude, it's so funny, dude, because like now I see Martin like, doing his trips out in San Diego,
Yeah.
out in SoCal. And it's like, oh shoot, like every time he's out here, like for some reason I'm not able to like make it to whatever show he
No.
might be
Man.
on. Dude, he was literally, bro, you're literally
Oh man.
you're in Murrieta,
Last week?
California, right?
Yeah.
Like not yeah. Dude, Murrieta is like 10 minutes away from me, like westbound, bro. And I was like, how did I not like be able to
Oh my
go to
god.
that show and just at least shoot the shit with Martin, right? But it was what it
What
was.
promotion was it?
It was
It's crazy. Oh,
VWC,
it
I
was
can't remember.
yes. Oh, and now they're running shows in
Right.
Woodmar,
Yeah, the
California
range.
now. Yeah, now
Yeah,
they
it's
are.
like an Empire area where we're kind of located. We're like So the Inland Empire is pretty much like the region west of LA, or no, east of LA, like 2 hours east, an hour and a half, and then like hour and a half north of San Diego. So we're kind of
Okay.
like the area between like Palm Springs and
Oh,
the city of Riverside, San Bernardino, and things like that. We're kind of like
Oh, gotcha.
Rancho Cucamonga.
more inland per se. Rancho, yeah, Rancho's a part of the Inland Empire.
Yeah.
Rancho, there's shows in Ontario that AEW's come through for. I think WWE did house shows there too, and a couple of TVs, but Ontario, California is a big, like one of the bigger cities out here. But yeah,
Mhm.
we're like more inland compared to what everyone else thinks. Everyone thinks like I'm like right next door to LA. I'm like, brother,
Like, yeah.
absolutely not. That's another hour and a half drive, dude. That's like trying to
Yeah.
go from like uh you know how would I compare this to Chicago? It's like, oh, like you're going
Vega
to
Park,
no,
O'Hare.
it's like, nah, it's like Chicago and then trying to, or going from what was it, where's what is it? Going from like Cicero to like
Oh,
uh
jeez.
Crown Point, Indiana or something, dude.
Oh my
Like or
god.
something like
Damn,
that. Yeah, going to like
damn,
Gary,
that's
Indiana.
far.
And that's yeah, it's a good drive,
That's
dude.
far.
Like
Wait,
when
are
I'm
you
driving
from
back home,
Chicago?
no, I have family
Are you
out there though.
okay. I was like, you
You're
know a
like,
lot
how does
about
this guy
Chicago.
know? Right, it's like, how does this guy know about all these like geographical names for these
Right?
neighborhoods? What the hell? Yeah.
How do you
No,
know how
I have
long it's gonna
family that
take
lives
to get
in
to Cicero?
Yeah, it's like damn.
right. Yeah, no, I have family out in Chicago. They live over by they actually live in Berwyn, right down the street from the Eagles Club right there. So
Oh
the ever
shit, okay.
famous, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
So
famous
they're
Eagles
they're in
Club.
that city. Yeah, dude,
Dang,
they're
okay.
like right down the street from like the spot where Danny Daniels and you know Cabana Punk and all those guys like
Mhm.
freaking made history essentially, I'd say, or at least let the
Damn.
let the region be known more.
Yeah.
Danny Daniels. Dude, it's crazy how we mentioned Danny Daniels. Shout out to Danny Daniels.
Yeah, dude. Oh shoot. Well, it's funny, dude. I did a few like graphics for them like a few years back. Yeah,
Okay.
they're good
Oh, which
folks for
ones?
sure. And Daniel.
Yeah.
Oof,
Do
man.
you
Now,
remember which one?
I, nah, I can't even
Yeah,
remember now which ones. I'd have to go back to my like
dig 'em from
external
the
hard
vault.
drive now to like. Yeah, I have to go into the vault for that, brother. So I'll get back to you on that. But I think there was like one
Next, I
Windy
want to
City
know.
show I did. But these were all like 2021, 22 around there. So it's been a few
Okay.
years. Yeah, that stuff's
So
been, art.
yeah,
Damn, yeah,
with
2021, yeah.
with like your graphic designing or like your photography, are there any like certain shows or like certain, I guess, wrestlers that you've worked with that you're like, wow, I got to work with them kind of thing?
Oof, man, there is a few, dude. The most recent one, it wasn't that I directly got to work with them. Uh, it was more of like there's a guy out in Nashville that he works for TNA as well. Uh, he reached out to me to do I think the Hardys were doing like some sort of like signing Q&A type of thing at a Nashville like
Oh,
a
snap.
bar or whatever with like
Oh,
it
is it
included like
Kevin?
a performance. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kevin. I don't know why like the name didn't pop up, but yeah,
yeah, Kevin.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
Kevin.
he had reached out and then hey, I got the show coming up over in Nashville for with the Hardys and Jeff's band is gonna be performing. So he reached out for a flyer and I was like, they're like, dude, we kind of need this ASAP if you're able to. And I was like, I'm slammed, but it's the Hardys.
You'll
So
make
it's
it
like,
work.
you
Yeah.
can't, yeah, it's like you either can say no and like never have this opportunity come up again.
Yep.
So yeah, that was one of the few in recent times that I got to do for, at least uh, for guys that you wouldn't think that you would be able to do something for. I was like the Hardys. I was like, all right, cool. Like
Hell
this is I
yeah.
can add this to my resume, or I can get this printed and have it hung up in my room or whatever.
No,
But
I
it was
definitely.
yeah, it was the
Oh,
Hardys, and then I'm trying to think of others. I mean, like obviously, like when you're working with different promotions and things like that, like it's kind of uh you know it kind of just kind of blends in all together with who you work with because it's like you'll have big names like here and there and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, one of the recent cool ones I got to do was it was a AAA show in Yucatan in the state of
oh,
Mexico over by the peninsula. So what the cool
Nice.
thing about that is it was like a AAA branded show, not like so the way AAA does a lot of shows in Mexico, or at least the offshoot shows with like on the independents, it's like they'll set up a show with an independent promoter, and then the independent promoter will bring in AAA talent, and they'll put like they'll want like the AAA logo
Gotcha.
on the poster. So I got to do one for that for a show in Yucatan. But the cool thing about it was it's like, all right, you got all these AAA guys, the Street One and all that. But the cool thing about it was it made it onto a bus, all the buses in the city. So it was like,
oh,
you
that's
know,
cool.
it was
No way.
modified, it got modified to be put like on public transit buses out there. So you're seeing
That's
like,
big.
folks out there are having eating tacos on the side of the street and there you could see like a bus pass by with the poster
With
I
your
made. I was like,
graphic
this is a
on it.
trip. Right, right. Yeah, so that was a mind blowing one, but I mean, honestly, man, there's a lot, dude, and for me to really narrow it down, but yeah, it's just it's one of those crazy things where it's like uh, something that I was doing in high school as a fun thing, like just editing on Photoshop, became this whole like
Mhm.
it was it opened the door for this crazy world in pro wrestling where I got to do like all this like type of artwork for people.
No, definitely. And like, so you said you started like graphic designing in like high school, right? Like, were you designing, like, anything specific? Like, were you making, like, MySpace layouts or something? Like
Oh,
MySpace
dude,
way.
man, talk about my coding
throwback.
resume, man. Yeah, if you guys want, some glittery graphics on your page
Yeah,
with
MySpace.
an embedded music video, hit me up, dude.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Honestly,
It just
I
starts
think
randomly and
anyone that's over 30 years old that has anything to do with, like, indie wrestling sort of production does and has some HTML experience from the past.
right,
Yeah,
dude,
we do.
100%. I believe it. Yeah,
Like,
dude. Well,
if
I mean, I I started doing like so the way I started was, like back then you were using your home desktop computer and this was mid 2000s. So you'd get whatever free software your printer came with, and it was like a photo
yeah,
editing, like some cheap thing, and then
yeah,
you'd
it's like
pop into your
Shutterfly.
PC and yeah, some super basic like thing. And so I just kind of started messing with that, dude. Like I just, I started just adding text to like graphics and make them cool for people's profile pictures on MySpace.
Yeah.
And then
Oh shit.
it just kind of turned into this whole thing, dude. And then, like going into college, I started to, and there was a lot of local rappers like out here, that were like kind of trying to get their name known, in
Mhm.
SoCal. Uh, and so I would do like mixtape covers, uh, things like that, that they would like, either have it distributed through like online platforms. Like back then it was like,
Yeah.
I think like, Rhapsody. So they would have like
Okay.
yeah, stuff like that. So it was like, iTunes the early iTunes in its infancy, like they would have like the cover like on the platform. And so I would design stuff like that. Actual printed mixtape as well, that they would get printed and hustle out the trunk. So that was like a thing,
Yep.
people were just yeah, like going, rappers like back then, that's
Going
what
out
they
to
were
the big
doing. They would just
shows, and they're, like,
yeah,
handing out all the
exactly.
mixtapes outside, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was a whole mixtape environment, dude. So I would set up some of these guys, they would actually get it fully printed jewel cases and they would have like a
Mhm.
full-on booklet layout for their stuff. So that I kind of got to do that for a few couple of years and it was a good introduction to like the way printing layouts work and stuff like that. And then, I went to college just doing that. And then I just kind of like, started working at a print shop and things like that. And I just kind of like, I don't know, I didn't focus so much on the graphic design after a while. I was kind of like just taking a break from it, I guess. I didn't really do
Yeah.
much of it for a bit. And then I think once I started getting involved in pro wrestling, that's when it just kind of like, all right, I can do something here. And then all of a sudden it just developed into this thing that I've been doing for the last like 8 years.
So what year did you, like, first start doing indie wrestling, like, graphic designing or photography?
So it was between 2017 and 2018. Well, 2017, I kind of started messing with like some of the cell phone photos I would take from ringside. And
Okay.
then I would just, slap a filter on there and just do whatever on Photoshop because I would still do, Photoshop work here and there, nothing crazy. And then I started photography in pro wrestling or indies 2018 and in SoCal. So from there, I kind of like I kept a balance of both. And then the graphic design aspect kind of just, turned into this whole thing because of what I started doing was I started to uh, get my photos that I would get during the shows, and I would like make
Mhm.
crazy edits with them. Either get the worker
Oh,
like the
okay.
wrestler's name on it, and then at work I was able to print like custom like 8x10 like prints.
Yeah.
So I remember the first guy I would credit to like actually put me over on the design aspect was was Brian Cage actually. And so at that time, that
Oh,
was like
shit.
he's like
What?
yeah, so it was like 2017, 2018. So he was like still running hot with the Lucha Underground stuff. I think they
Okay.
were on
Yeah.
season, can't remember what season they were in. I think it was on the tail end of it, but it's a big name from Lucha Underground, and he's running
Yeah.
hot like in the indies at that point. So I remember I like I was tagging him and stuff on Instagram, and then he like we started following each other, and then I kind of like gave him this like crazy like edit of a photo I took ringside at a indie show, and then I put his name on it and I printed it out, gave him like a small stack of prints,
Yeah.
because at the print shop I worked at, I was able to get the prints ready and cut up and all that. And so what I did was, printed them out at the next show. I gave them to him, and then he was like super appreciative of it, and he thought it was like the coolest thing ever to like have it all set up and like
That's so sick.
like an edit, a cool edit printed out. And so
Yeah.
that kind of was like my the intro to like the whole networking part of it. So
Mhm.
he word got around that I was able to do this type of stuff, so there was more people hitting me up to do 8x10 prints, and it kind of just developed from there. And at the same time, I was slowly making my way on certain shows to do ringside photography. So people were seeing me at the shows, and then at the same time I was the design guy. And so I was doing both
Jack
at
of
the
all
same time.
trades.
Right. Yeah. So I was doing both at the same time. So I was kind of known as like the design guy, and he's also the ringside guy. So I was like, from then on, I started doing like, the small shows. I was doing like bar wrestling. I was doing championship wrestling for Hollywood. I was doing like, shows in
Man,
San Diego. It started to branch off little by little, dude. And Rival Pro and other indies in SoCal. So it was, yeah, I was running hard, dude, like during that time, into like right before the pandemic hit. So that's how I
yeah,
kind of just slowly networked my way out to like everybody.
that's so awesome. Like, I think so I haven't had an experience with a bar wrestling show. I know
Hmm.
Martin has had, like, he's talked about all these, was it like Circle Six?
Right.
What I think like Circle Six
Yeah. Oh
promotion.
no. Yeah. He's talking about bar wrestling, like the actual company that used to be running
Oh,
in LA.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
Yeah,
like
it was like
bar,
that
like actual
company.
bars,
Oh
like
no, that was
dive
the name
bar
of the
wrestling.
No, it's like
promotion.
it was
Yeah.
a company. Yeah, it was a
Damn, I'm
promotion at
gonna
the time
Right.
called Bar
delete that
Wrestling.
part out.
Yeah.
Right. So
No,
like,
no, but
but
still.
now it's like a thing though. Like now, like wrestling in bars is like a whole thing. So everyone's booking
A
shows at
common
like
thing.
some like, yeah, some show in like West Hollywood, and I think Circle
Yeah.
Six does a few shows like that. So yeah, and then GCW
Yeah,
started
and
coming to
the
SoCal as well. So yeah, that was kind of like the the way it kind of things expanded like out there. It's just there was a lot of shows happening like 2017, 18, 19, then the pandemic hit, which kind of like pretty much kind of put a setback, a major setback on SoCal because we were restricted a lot.
Hmm.
So, but after that, slowly started to come back. So, but yeah, that was pretty much like um, my whole MO when I was trying to like just network and get out there. At first, it wasn't like my intention per se,
Yeah.
but it just kind of like just developed into this whole like thing where I was like, all right, like I was able to do like all this stuff for either, workers or actual promoters in SoCal.
So for anyone that's like new, like that wants to get into like the business and stuff, and like wants to say get into like ringside photography, like graphic designing, for example, like what would you say to someone that is kind of like, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to network, I'm kind of like lost. Like, what would you tell
Mhm.
them, knowing what you know now?
Right. And I feel like it's more, well, to put it into context. I think back then it wasn't as it wasn't a whole lot of availability in terms of like photographers that would go to shows, and or like I mean, there was, but it wasn't like how it is now. And there's like a whole lot of people that are, involved now, nowadays.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I feel like usually when folks tell me like how do I, either try to try to do photos for certain promotions, or how would I do this or that, it could be design, whatever. Even just any sort of production, I just say like, just show up like to, let's say if you're shooting from the crowd, shoot from the crowd. Like there's nothing wrong with it. You can take your camera. Like some people have an issue with it, but it's like, you're paying customer for a show and they let you bring your camera, then bring your camera. That's how you develop some sort of portfolio in this crazy profession, or in
Yeah.
this crazy world of pro wrestling, dude. So I mean, I just tell them like try to network as and show face as much as you can. Always be respectful of workers. Don't just try to keep things professional. Try to you know as I mentioned, show face. If you're able to uh, reach out to people either via DM or email. I mean, you
Mhm.
can definitely do so. There's nothing wrong with it because it's at the end of the day, it's like you're trying, you're making the effort, and the worst they can say is no. Or every time
Yeah.
they can say no, there's gonna be a yes. And what I will say though is that uh, if you're trying to get into this sort of production work, uh, you can't always expect to be monetarily compensated off the bat. That's yeah, you gotta
Oh, waiting for it.
earn your stripes, you gotta get your reps in. It's just a sacrifice, dude. Like for
That
me, like it was just that's kind of like the thing that I had to kind of grasp at the beginning. Some folks would be able to chip you a little something, but some wouldn't. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that you have to kind of like take into consideration that hey, like not everyone's gonna want to monetarily compensate you, and you kind of have to earn your stripes that way. That's just how it is at the beginning. Then once later on down the road, when your portfolio's solid, you're known around the area or whatever, uh, you're networking well, then it's like, all right, if someone reaches out to you, give them a rate, whatever it may be for. It could be any sort of
Yeah.
production work, whatever. It could be a ring announcing, whatever it is. But yeah, that's just kind of like how I that's kind of like the general advice I usually give folks. Just, show face, don't be invasive of the ringside area of the production crew that's already there. Um, because it's at the end of the day, they got a job to do, and it's like if you're gonna just run up ringside and disrupt the production flow, it's like you're already, as we say, you're already getting heat, so it is what it
Yeah.
is.
Do you have any stories of have you ever gotten hit ringside or
Oof,
any crazy
man, let's see,
mishaps happen to you? I know Martin has
man.
some.
Oh, we want
Oh
to hear
yeah,
this.
no, let's see. All right, where do I start? Like, where do I start? There's a few. Okay,
Open the
so
floodgates.
the one
Damn.
the okay, so the TJ in Tijuana can get a little crazy when I shoot the crash, especially in the last few years. So it's like uh at the Auditorio, there's almost never a show where there isn't a beer being thrown.
Oh,
So
jeez.
yeah, yeah, dude. So I've been soaked, but luckily, like I've seen that thing flying because it's, I see the beer flying, I immediately go to my camera and just cover it.
Yeah.
It's just, they get rowdy over in TJ. I remember I did the NWA AAA show in Mexico City, about
Oh,
three
shit.
years ago.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was at the Smashing Pumpkins concert. So it was like a whole like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was the World is a Vampire festival with like AAA
Yeah.
and
yeah.
NWA doing like an intermission type show. And
That's gotta be so
with
sick.
like it was a dude, it was pretty packed, and it was the crowd was that was our first time in Mexico City, and the crowd was amazing, dude.
Wow.
But over there, Lucha Libre is like, there's, football, soccer, and then there's, for me, in my opinion, then there's lucha libre. And
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, they take it seriously down there, dude. Like, or at least, they get into it. So, uh, there was, the our or NWA guys, I think were getting, they were being the rudos in this case, and then they were just riling up the crowd. And I don't remember what happened. I think I can't remember if one of our guys had won or if it was because Camille was wrestling on that show. I can't remember who it was or which match it was, but I remember that there was a beer thrown and directly hit me on the square of my back, dude. And
Oh my
it was,
god.
dude, it was insane, bro. It was yeah, it hurt for a bit, but then after that, I was like, I just shook it off. But yeah, that was one. So it involves beer a lot. A lot of these the stories involve beer, but
So do
uh,
they throw them
yeah,
in, are they like cans or are they like in like
Oh yeah,
mugs?
I think well, that's like the normal,
oh,
like,
cup.
big old pint cup, but I don't know what this one had, but it might have been just full of ice or something that they
Oh,
were able
shit.
to like launch it, and then it just hit me
Yeah.
square on my back. But with like wrestlers and things like that, I think man, I think only twice. And this was more like when I first started on the indie scene in SoCal. It was like a show with like, Andy Brown, my good buddy. He I can't remember. I was like on the corner and it was a packed show where the ring is like, or the crowd is right next to the ring.
Oh
And
yeah,
so he's running towards the turnbuckle where the dude is right there on the with his back against where I'm at, right there on the turnbuckle. He
yeah.
flips him
Mhm.
over, and me thinking that Andy's gonna get fall on the or stand on the apron as he's going over. No, he just
Just
straight up
lands
just
on.
dives right on top of me. Yeah. And so I'm like, I have nowhere to go because everyone's like packed like sardines in there. So I, get the full like the full hit right there. So
Oh
yeah,
god.
that was one. And then I think the only other time after that, it might have been there was a match at that same promotion too. It was I think yeah, it was Cross. So Killer Cross. It was right before he got signed,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he I can't remember if it was he got Irish whipped by Ryan Taylor or I can't remember how the move went, but I just remember like Cross like getting tossed to like where I was at and through the ropes like all of a sudden like it was just one of those things where it like suddenly happened and you just like aren't ready for it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he kind of like hit me like right like on the arm
Oh
right
my
there, and it
god.
kind of made me go back. But yeah, other than that, dude, I
Was
mean,
the camera
Cross is a
okay?
great guy. I love that guy. No, yeah, it was fine. Luckily, it was just
Like,
it was just the foot that got hit a little bit, but it was fine. That's the
Oh
good
man.
thing about having a lens hood on there. So you got to protect that thing at all costs. But yeah, other
Damn,
than
I
that,
gotta
that's only
keep
been
that in mind.
it's only been like a few instances. So that was just kind of like I guess brief rundown of the stuff that I've had to deal with.
So it involves a lot of beer and you
A lot
getting
of
body
beer,
slammed on.
pretty much getting
and
like
big sweaty men.
dropped on.
Yes.
Right, right.
And
He's
big sweaty
yeah,
men.
so yeah, dude, big muscular sweaty man just falling like over the top rope or through the ropes on him be insane. But
Dude,
Speaking
yeah,
of
dude,
big
it
that
was
sweaty
happened to me
men.
on Friday. I got kicked
Wait,
in the
what?
head by Silent Mason. I got kicked
oh
right in the fucking
brother,
head because
In the
he
that's a
head?
went
big
like this
that's
to the
a
cervical. Bro, he kicked me right in the fucking head, and he goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah,
hey
I'm okay." Bro, I was filming
hey
and kicked me right in the
Martine.
fucking head.
I love Silas, dude. He's like, dude, he's up there, dude. I love that guy. I miss him, dude. I used to, when I was over there, yeah, I used
Dude,
to chop it up with him all the time. But
we
hmm?
got super skinny now. Like he got super skinny.
Oh yeah, he leaned
Super
out.
skinny
Yeah, I
now.
know he was like leaning
Yeah,
out for
dude.
sure. But what did he tell you though? Hey, Martine, you okay?
He was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And I'm over here filming. And I'm like, "Damn, that shit hurted," but I'm like, "I'm filming." I was like, "I had to hold this
Yeah,
bitch because I'm like, it hurts, but I'm holding this shit right here." So
do
yeah,
you
it's
Yeah,
fun giving
still,
shout out to my
he's
friend.
a big dude, big solid dude for sure. Yeah, yeah, that's
do
no
you
But
like
still
yes,
do
super
he's
nice.
definitely got to
NWA?
see his weight. What's that?
Do you still do NWA at all?
No, no, so I was there from, I want to say when they first, yeah, it was when they first started back after the pandemic. So it was like March of 2021 to pretty much January of last year. So that was kind of like my, I would say like a solid 4 year run with them.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
there, yeah, it was, man, it was honestly, I loved doing the stuff there. Like what I started first as like doing the ringside stuff, the first couple shows, and then all the way through like the end of 2023. But once they got, you know, I guess you could say that once they got wind of me, or knowing that I do like graphic design for like pro wrestling, so they just,
Yeah.
they started giving me that duty to, they hired me on to do that stuff, pretty much from, yeah, 2021. I want to say maybe after the anniversary show in 2021, I started doing all their stuff, like, all the NWA Powers, weekly episode graphics, I was doing all the main posters for all the pay-per-views, a lot of the advertising stuff. I was doing the logos for the anniversary shows at all the pay-per-views. Just a lot of stuff, dude. I was doing
Damn.
I was kind of like
So everything.
jack of all trades, I guess, with
Yeah.
them. So it was cool though because I would do the graphics and then I would like, fly out to wherever they were holding like a TV taping or a pay-per-view and do the ringside stuff for them at those shows.
Damn.
So, but yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed my time there, to be honest. I met a lot of good people there. Uh, all the staff, like everyone was awesome. Corey was awesome to work with, and but through time, as in wrestling, nothing's always ever guaranteed, or nothing. It's things happen, so it's just like
Yeah.
business decisions are made, and so yeah, it was. I departed last year in January, and then from then on, I just kind of just been doing like indie stuff and all that. So I still been running hard with it. Um, and when I was working over there, wrestling was kind of like my shoot job per se, because that's all I was pretty much
Damn.
doing for like 4 years. Just yeah, dude, it was I was running hard with it, but now it's like, all right, like now I got a solid gig, solid 9 to 5 that I'm pretty happy with right now. So I'm just kind of like, I've been focusing on that, and I'll do
Mhm.
my wrestling stuff on the side. And if I'm able to do like a show on a weekend, like in TJ or San Diego or LA, then I'll be able to go do it. But that's kind of how like how everything is. Not to like dive off the subject of NWA, but
No,
that's just kind
no.
of like what I've been
No,
doing
So you're
nowadays.
not
You know what I mean?
doing as much wrestling nowadays.
At least on the photography side. So now I've dialed back a lot on it just because I've been focused on so many other things. But I'm still like, luckily and grateful for it that I'm still like, doing a lot of design work. Just
Yeah.
when sometimes I feel like my email inbox is like almost empty, or I'm almost at the finish line where I'm able to finish certain things. All of a sudden, dude, like here comes
I
like
mean, that's gotta be
more,
a good
more
feeling.
stuff. Yeah, no, it definitely is. It definitely is. Sometimes though, it's like, man, like I gotta, try to, I try to split my time evenly and try to get, as much sleep as I can. But man, like sometimes it's like, it feels like I'm running hard. So, luckily I'm able to kind of organize myself and try to, you know, uh, work on things as they come along and try to get stuff structured. But, luckily, I'm still, involved in pro wrestling and or have some footing in it, whether it's doing poster work nowadays, which is what I do
Mhm.
most, or every so often go do a gig and at a show. Um, yeah, yeah, it's pretty much been like my thing lately.
Damn. Well, sounds like you literally have a very impressive resume
Mm-hmm.
from like the
Uh,
last like what 7, 8 years, 9.
Y-
My math's not mathing right
Yeah,
now.
I know. I hear you. I hear you, man. I'm like, wait, we're in 2026. I still feel like
Yeah.
I'm in 2024, dude. Like, what is
Right.
this? Yeah, dude. So, but yeah, and I have the people hit me up for like a resume and stuff, and I gotta restructure my site too. So I try to put the best stuff up there, but in the moment I'm just trying to like get that organized. But yeah, dude, I'm grateful for it. It's obviously it's you as you're working this type of field that you'll have your ups and downs, and you'll have your times of frustration for sure.
Yeah,
And
Mhm.
at the end of the day, yeah, dude, man, times 100. But
it's
at the end of the day,
a
it's
pain.
like I'm grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful for it at least, like for the time or the stuff I've been able to do within this, this time span with in pro wrestling. But yeah, dude, it's been fun for sure. It's been you know, I know we didn't really get to talk about the technical stuff behind creating posters, but man, that's a whole nother
Dude,
subject for sure.
That's a whole nother
yeah,
episode.
I'm sure we want more with you on this
Dude,
episode. So
dude, I'm down to, yeah, I'm down, dude. Whenever you guys want to have me on, like, like to get more in depth with certain things, especially, design work that I do, like, we'll definitely get into it more. I'm down.
yes. Well, I think we're coming up to time.
Yeah, we're
So
not too.
Iban,
Damn.
let us know where we can find you, your social medias,
Mhm.
all your work.
So right now, as I mentioned, like my website is ivanhuerta.com, but it's under construction. I'm restructuring it at the moment. But right now you can follow me I mainly use Instagram and Twitter or X. Um, so Ivan Huerta, is my full name on Instagram, and Ivan Huerta, my full name on X. So catch me on there, and yeah, you can follow me on there. Check out photography, and yeah, and I'll have my portfolio site back up and running soon. So, yeah, still in the works.
Martin, you got any last things to say to Iban?
Ooh. Oh, okay. Yes. So, fun fact. Like, my mom's last name is Huerta,
Oh yeah, that's right. I think you did
and she's
tell
from
me that.
Jalisco.
Isn't
Yeah,
isn't
yeah, yeah.
she
And my
from
mom's from
Jalisco?
Jalisco too. Yeah, she's
Oh
from
Dude, we might
Jalisco.
shit.
be distant cousins, dude. We might be distant cousins because
As I
my whole
told you.
family's down in Jalisco, bro. That you never
That's the
know,
reason why
bro.
I
I might
told
have
you.
to.
One time.
Right, I might have to like go into one of those like ancestry sites and like
Oh, like my
put my info in
23.
there.
Figure shit out.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and see
That's a
where the
fact.
dots connect, bro. And see where the dots connect.
Because it
If
had
I
to,
have
because
like, this all of a sudden I realize I have distant cousins in Chicago that I didn't know about.
And it's Martin.
there you
And it's
Ice
Martin,
Martin.
dude, wrestling with unicorns was my cousin the whole
Dude,
time.
you guys would be like tagged brothers of destruction in the
Brothers
indie
of
wrestling
Destruction,
world.
dude. Right, the Brothers of Destruction, absolutely, dude. One's filming, one's snapping, dude.
Dude,
Can I be
seriously, you
Kane?
guys would take it over.
I'm like,
I
I'm
I, I
Kane.
mean, Undertaker, dude, go. I mean, you got the red backdrop already ready to go, dude. So I'll be, dude. I'm, all in black, so I'm Taker, dude. I'll take the dead
Yeah.
man, sure.
Dang. All right. Well, I guess I'll be
And then
Paul
Arlen can
Bearer
be
then.
part, but yes, Arlen can be part. Yeah.
I
Paul,
got my urn.
the urn,
There's not Arlen. Oh wait, hold up.
Yeah, there you go. There's the urn.
the urn right there. Your hydro flask.
All
Yeah,
right.
one
So
gallon.
Oh
Drink
I'll
man,
water.
cut this part out, but we're gonna do a sign off, and then once it signs off, just stay on after so that everything
right.
uploads.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
please do, because don't leave.
yeah, don't leave yet after.
Yeah,
Right.
shit. Because people don't listen. Shout out to Hendry.
And they just hang up or what?
Yeah, they just hang up, and then it's like, oh, the rest of their footage hasn't gone up yet. But
Yeah,
it'll do it, but it's a lot faster if you're still here.
yeah, it'd be like,
Shit.
bitch.
Yeah,
I'm
Hey,
like
like,
luckily my
upload so fast.
Wi-Fi's luckily my
No,
Wi-Fi is good too, so I was happy for that.
yeah, it takes like
oh, good.
minutes, so it'll take like a minute or two. but yeah, it's nothing
Right.
too long. But
Yeah.
yeah, anyways, thank you for coming on, dude. So nice. I know you and Martin have met, but so nice to meet you virtually.
Yeah, dude. Likewise,
Hopefully
bro.
one day we'll get a show.
Yeah, dude. I gotta make my way out to Chicago again, dude. I gotta visit my cousins out there. So I think if there's something that lines up, dude, I'm definitely down to hit you guys up.
Berwyn,
If
Eagles
all the
Club.
dude, I know. And so I'm like, it's
Bro.
like, all right, it's perfect, dude. My family was right there on Berwyn. I can't remember the street. There was like a down the street. There was like this bar. I think it was called I don't know, but my cousin would always go. And the one time I went to when I was out there for a BLP show during the pandemic in Crown Point, I had gone out there and uh I had gone to Crown Point and then came back to Berwyn to at my cousin's house. And I remember, yeah, he got me really hammered, dude. So I was like on the next day on my flight, just
Just
yeah,
hungover
like
shit.
then super hungover, bro. Like a 4 or 5 hour flight back to LAX, dude. And I was like, bro, this is
Oh God.
yeah, it was bad, dude. I was like, all right, I'm not coming back to Chicago for a minute. And I came back like 2 years later. So, but yeah, it was it was brutal, bro. I even like every slight movement, like I just felt like I just wanted to roll, and I was like, it was bad.
Those are the worst hangovers. The worst.
Luckily this is what Southwest was like. I think they were doing the split seating, so it wasn't like a fully like
Oh yeah.
packed plane. Yeah, it was like during the
Like,
pandemic
yeah.
when they were doing like a
That
lot
makes
of airlines
sense.
I think were doing the you can only sit the empty seat in the middle or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Something like that. It just
Well,
feels like so
that's
long
good.
ago, but it was like 6 years ago. But yeah,
That's crazy.
it was cool.
Think
Yeah,
about it.
I'll
6 years
definitely
ago.
hit you guys up. Yeah, I'll definitely hit you
But yeah.
guys up though if I'm ever out
Let's
there
go.
again.
All right,
Okay.
Martin,
Oh shit.
dude, do your thing. Hit him.
Okay.
Hit him with it, dude.
Okay. Okay. Thank you
So,
guys
okay.
for
Yeah.
thank you guys for listening to Shutter Slam with your two hosts, Arlen Sleepwalker with no balls because we don't fucking like balls, Wrestling with Unicorns, and our special guest, Triple H. And you can follow
Ivan
us
Hernandez Huerta.
the real Triple H. But still, Paul, hire me. Anyways, you can follow us. You can follow us on social medias on Shutter Slam and all social medias, YouTube, Apple Pay, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube.
Apple Pay.
That's a whole different thing.
Apple
But
Pay
go on.
Apple Pay the podcast for sure. Yeah, you should put your you guys' Apple Pay like, hey, support the podcast.
Drop the
Here's
Venmo.
If you guys want to be a sponsor,
Yeah, drop that
you guys
Venmo,
can
drop
sponsor
that.
us.
Right.
The sponsors, anybody who wants to be a sponsor, hit us up. But yeah, follow us on social media. Go on YouTube. Please watch our videos so we can get modified. Oh my god! So we can make money out of this bitch. Okay, so we can make money.
Monetize so you can monetize.
Yeah, that shit. Okay, go watch us. Go view us. Go wherever you want to see. You know, say you can even go check out like my OnlyFans if you want to go check my OnlyFans. Anyways,
whoa there.
All right, hit him with it.
No,
Bye,
I'm
guys.
just kidding. I have no OnlyFans.
Thank
Bye,
you guys for having me.